Hi, I'm Kevin from Creative Digital Media, and in this video, I'm going to cover on-page SEO for roofing companies or roofing websites. That said, the on-page SEO principles and different aspects of on-page SEO that I'm going to show you in this video will apply to any website. So even if you're not a roofer, you can still use what I'm going to show you in this video to better optimize your website and more specifically improve your website's on-page SEO. So what is on-page SEO? It's essentially optimizing the elements on your website's pages to make it easier for users and search engines to understand not just like what elements are, but what your page is about and what the most important information on the page is, and then the subsequent or the hierarchy of informational importance. Without further ado, I'm going to jump over to this little whiteboard. I'm just trying this whiteboard app out, so I've seen a few people use it on YouTube, so I'm going to give it a whirl. So roofing SEO or on-page SEO for roofers is what we're going to focus on. And I say for roofers because the examples I'm going to show you are a roofing SEO blog post that I wrote, and the other examples are roofing websites, and we're basically going to take a look at their on-page SEO. I'll point out areas in which they're not very well optimized. Some of them are and others aren't, but each of the examples that I found all have areas that they could make improvements. So what makes up on-page SEO, or what is on-page SEO comprised of? On-page SEO is basically optimizing your title tags. So this would include basically including your keyword in your title and also trying to make your titles so that they're enticing, because when somebody performs a search on Google, for the most part, they're only going to see 3 things in each snippet: the page title, the URL, and the meta description. And if that website has schema properly implemented and they happen to get a rich snippet or end up in the featured snippet, then more information may get displayed. But for the most part, the majority of websites are only going to be shown as the title, the URL, and the meta description. And the meta description isn't a ranking factor, but being that it's one of 3 things people see in Google search results, you still want to optimize your meta description, because a good description entices or encourages people to click through to the page. Also included in on-page is the image alt text, or adding alt text to your images. And you want to do this because search engines can't understand images, or they don't know what an image is about. So the alt text basically does or tells search engines what an image is about, or what's going on in the image. And the alt text is also used for when someone is visually impaired or blind and they use screen readers or a screen reader. The screen reader will read the image alt text. So using or optimizing your image alt text to deliver a good user experience is extremely important for on-page SEO. And next up is keyword placement. So using keywords not only throughout your content, but in your page title, in your headings, and not just your exact keyword, but synonyms and like LSI keywords. LSI keywords are latent semantic indexing, and it's not exactly synonyms, but it is synonyms. It's basically like the same like words that are within the same like topic, or they're related to your primary keyword. Next up is the structure of your content. So anytime you're creating content, you want to make it as easy as possible for search engines to understand the flow of the information on the page, and for users to interact with the content and consume the content as easily as possible without having to like struggle to read because your text is way too small. Like if I had my text like this, this wouldn't be a very good video. But using the right sized content and creating like an information informational hierarchy using headings and like bulleted lists and things like that, make it easier for people to consume your content, and ideally that will keep them on the page longer. When people are on your page longer, that signals to search engines that there's something valuable on that page that's essentially worth sticking around for. And up next, the last two are internal and external links, and internal links being links to other pages on your website, external links being links to other websites. And I'll get into why it's important to include these throughout your content, not just like at the end in a call to action or anything like that. Like, they should be used throughout your content and incorporated into the content in a natural way, which I'll try and point out if I find an example of it. And we're also going to jump into the WordPress dashboard, and I'll show you basically the process of adding a new post or page to a WordPress website, and show you where you would like change your page title, how you would change the heading tags, where you can change the permalink structure or the URL structure, where you can add image alt text. So let's jump over to a few roofing websites that certainly could use a little improvement as far as their SEO. So this is the Cool Roofing Company. This is a blog post, which they have this featured image right here. And then if we scroll down and just look through the post, so as you can see, these orange bits of text, those are internal links, and they're like in content links. If you look on the bottom left, I'm hovering over each of these. On the bottom left of your screen, you can see a URL preview, so you can see where that link leads to. So every link on this page is an internal link. They have no external links. So this one has absolutely no internal links. They have actually one internal link, and it's just a link to their homepage. They are using like a numbered list to structure their content, which is good. Their title's not bad. No, their title's good. Usually, like using a modifier and a specific number, it usually increases the amount people will share the post and actually like engage with it. So to check the image alt text, this is their featured image. If I right click on it and go down to inspect, I am able to see over here the image alt text. So they're using the title of the blog post as the alt text. And the name of the image is Roofing Repair Contractors Phoenix, which isn't bad. But so these guys, they have, once again, another website with no internal links or external links in their content. They are using, this is, I assume, probably a header too. You can do the same thing with headers. You can right click on it and then go down to inspect, and it will basically tell me what kind of header that is. So that's an H2. And then this is an H3. So they are using a informational hierarchy with their headings. The way you want to use your H1 through H6 tags is you want to have the most important keywords in your H1, because that's basically telling Google and users what the page is about. So you want to have your most important keywords in your title, and then your like next most important keywords would be in your H2 and then H3 and so on down the line. But if we take a look at the image that they're using on their blog post by right clicking and then going down to inspect, their alt text is 4292019 _ house gutters _ blog. That's a terrible alt text. Their alt text is the name of the image. So renaming your images before you upload them is something I strongly recommend, because if Google's indexing your images, you want them to not only contain relevant keywords, but these numbers aren't like in any way relevant to anything. They're just arbitrary numbers. So it's a missed opportunity to like improve their on-page SEO. These guys actually have a few internal links, but I believe all of their links are, this one looks like a broken link unless one of their pages is literally a question mark as the title. So every link on this page is an internal link, which is good because you want to include internal links throughout your content, but they don't have a single external link. And the reason you want to link out to other websites is, like, say I go to this page and it's 6 ways to avoid a roofing catastrophe. Okay, so I can read about repairs, but like if they had mentioned like a particular brand or a particular product that they use for something and then linked out to that website, I can then go learn about that particular product or that whatever it is. I'll show you on my website how and like where in my content I link out to external sources, because when you do that, the reason it's good for on-page SEO is because it enhances the user experience. It provides people with the option to go learn more about a particular topic. And it doesn't mean that like people are just going to leave your site because you're linking out to other websites. You can set it in WordPress so that any external link opens in a new tab. So even if they click on it, they still remain on your page, and then the other page will just open in a different tab. I believe these guys have a decent, so it's wood block build up little house. I would have named it 6 ways to avoid a roofing catastrophe. And if you didn't notice, I'd like to point out also that each of these posts only has one image. The only image they have is their featured image, so there's no other images throughout their content. So those are some examples of roofing websites that have some on-page optimization or on-page SEO. There's certainly room for improvement on each of them. Basically every website we just visited, each of them was doing something wrong with their on-page SEO. So this is my website. This is the blog post on roofing SEO, and my featured image, this is the featured image up here, but the alt text is my title on my featured image. And that's the only time I use the title as an alt text. And then I've embedded a video with the keyword as the title. So the keyword for this post is roofing SEO. And as you can see up here in my URL is creativedigitalmedia.com/my keyword, roofing SEO. And then I embedded a YouTube video about roofing SEO. And then I include a table of contents because it is a long blog post. It's, I think, around 6,000 words or something around that. So this just makes it easier for anyone that wants to get to a specific section. For example, the on-page SEO section, they can jump right to it just by clicking this. Before doing that, I'll show you like this image right here. If I right click on that and go to inspect, roofing contractors working on roof is my alt text. Your alt text should be used to describe what's going on in the image. It's not like you don't want to use your keyword in every single alt text or every image that you have. I'll show you a few more image alt texts. So the alt text on this one is long tail and short tail keyword graph, and it's a long tail and short tail graph about keywords. This image is about voice search, and the alt text is optimize your website for voice search. Nothing about roofing. And you can see here's an external link to a source for this information. It's a link to Google. And down here, this is a link to Brian Dean's definitive guide to voice search. So I haven't written a guide to voice search, and if somebody wants to learn more about it, I only have a few paragraphs about it. So if somebody wants to learn more about it, I provide them a link that they can go visit Brian Dean's website. But if they click on this link, it'll open it in a new tab. So they'll still be on my website. Check out one more image, alt text on this one, specific roofing service keywords from Google Autocomplete. It seems to do a pretty good job of describing what that image, like what's going on in that image. That's exactly what the image is. It's a specific roofing service, and this is the Google Autocomplete. It's not that difficult to do this stuff. Just a lot of people don't do a lot of this stuff, and it impacts or has a negative impact on their rankings. These are all external links to resources because I want to provide anyone reading this post with as much value as possible. So providing them with links to different keyword research tools enhances the user experience and makes their life easier. So the reason you want to link out to other websites within your content, even if they're like a competitor, is it positions you as somewhat of a resource and positions that page as like a valuable resource, so it improves your chances of ranking on Google. So scrolling back up to table of contents. So if I click that link, it just jumps right down. And the table of contents, this table of contents, it's a block from Gutenberg, which is in the WordPress editor. It's just the table of contents block from Cadence. It's a plugin that I have that adds additional blocks to Gutenberg, which is the editor for posts and pages in WordPress. So as you can see, I provide information about where they can, like where a roofer can go to get LSI keywords to use throughout their content. And I guess another thing that helps with on-page SEO is my blog posts are usually really long. So I include a back to top link that somebody can click, and it just brings them right back to the top of the page. As far as the information hierarchy and how to structure your content, as you can see, roofing SEO is my main keyword. So this is my H1 or my heading 1. By this being my H1 or my heading, also known as my page title, I'm telling Google that this is the most important piece of information on this page. This basically will tell you the most about what this page is about. And scrolling down, these are each H2s. So they're heading 2s. So they're essentially like subtopics of my H1, which is roofing SEO. My H1 is roofing SEO, how to get your roofing website to rank number 1 on Google or whatever it is. Then my first H2 is what is roofing SEO? And then why is roofing SEO important? And then I get into using keywords for roofing SEO. Roofing SEO, developing a keyword strategy for improving your roofing website's search engine optimization. And then I go into search intent and the differences between short tail and long tail keywords, like specific keywords that pertain to roofing services. And then I incorporate another video about adding AMP to your website. This isn't necessarily directly, it's not about roofing or adding AMP to a roofing website, but it's still a video that if somebody is trying to enhance their website's mobile friendliness, adding AMP to their website is a good idea. So including this video makes it like this blog post is like a one-stop shop. So they don't have to go somewhere else to learn how to enhance the mobile friendliness of their website. And right here I have a link to the blog post about AMP and the anchor text, which is the text that is displayed in place of the link. Like this is a full link, but this is an anchor text link, or the anchor text for this link is the link itself. Whereas this, if you look on the bottom left, Google AMP is a link to creativedigitalmedia.com/Google- or -AMP. So this is a link to the blog post that I wrote using the transcript from that AMP video. And each of these is like all of these images. I know the alt text is optimized properly, and I'm not over optimizing by just using like roofing SEO in each of my images, because that would be like over optimizing and it would look to Google like I'm trying to scam them or just trying to game the system. So the alt text is exactly what this is. It's an example of a roofing website with contact information clearly displayed on the homepage. I managed to use the word roofing, but I used it like naturally in the alt text instead of just using like my exact keyword. That's like using just like example of roofing website. That's closer to like what an LSI is, because roofing website is directly related to roofing SEO. But roofing website isn't a synonym for roofing SEO. So those are just examples of the different aspects of on-page SEO and like what I do to optimize different elements on my page. And now I'll show you in my staging site. This is the WordPress editor. And when you create a new post, when you add a title, enter in the title right here. This will be the H1 for this page. And certain themes, depending on what theme you're using, or your page title or the H1 will display differently. So it may be different than how mine does. Mine automatically pulls in my page title and displays it in or above the header image in like a hero section. And this automatically does it on every page of my website. So by putting the title right here, this is now just paragraph text in WordPress. In order to change it, the advanced settings that you see right here are from different add-ons to Gutenberg that I have. But if you don't have any add-ons or plugins that enhance your Gutenberg editor, then you would just click on heading and it turns this into a heading. So now it'll format it as an H2 on the front end of my website. So now you can see like this is the H1 and heading 2, then paragraph text. Obviously there'd be more than that, but then heading 3. So this is like how you should structure your content in like an informational hierarchy with your most important keywords in your H1 and then your next most important in your H2s and so on. So to add a featured image, this is the media library on WordPress. And as you can see over here, I can add the alt text for this image. And it being my featured image, I would just use the title of my blog post, and then each subsequent image would just be the alt text that basically describes whatever that image is about. And then down here, this is the Yoast settings. So I'm using the Yoast SEO plugin. I'm not quite sure. I didn't do a keyword, but it automatically pulls in my page title. So if I change this page title right here, this is what's going to display in search engines. That's why it looks the way that it does. It basically shows you a preview of exactly what it's going to look like. So to edit it, all I have to do is click on it, and this green line down at the bottom underneath it, basically you don't want a page title that's too short. So you want to make your page title like 65 characters, I think is the length. So by increasing the length of the title, the bar turns green, and the slug is referring to basically the permalink. I'll show you over here. This is the slug. So it's what's going to come after your root domain. So after the slash, I just have my keyword, and I try and do that with all of my blog posts, or most of them. There's a few that I didn't. As I've gotten better at SEO, now I just use my primary keyword, because if somebody sees a link to my blog post on social media or on another website, it's easy to understand exactly what that page is about, because it's about roofing SEO. Whereas if it was like my entire title was the slug, that is going to get cut off in the search engines or truncated, and it's a pain to read and it's impossible to remember. So keeping it short and sweet, boom, see how this shows up? Just roofing SEO. So that would be my slug. And then your meta description needs to be something that like encourages people to click through to your website. So it's got to be enticing. And this isn't a ranking factor, but the click-through rate on your website will impact your rankings. It's not a ranking. No, the meta description isn't a ranking factor, but it affects your click-through rate, which if no one's clicking through to your website, Google's not going to show your website in the search results. So that's a bunch of random gibberish. Well, not gibberish, but it's an example of a meta description. You would just enter your keyword down here. So for this, my keyword was roofing SEO. So that should be my focus key phrase. Obviously, I'm getting a down face because I don't have roofing SEO in any of the content. To recap, to do on-page SEO the right way, you want to use a short URL slug. You're best off just going with your keyword. Include your URL in your page title, include your keyword, your primary keyword in your page title. Include images and videos in your content, preferably ones that are yours. Like I made this video and I'm making this video for this roofing SEO blog post. I have a table of contents that makes it easier for people to navigate to different areas of the post, so it enhances the user experience. My subheadings are set up in an informational hierarchy without using the keyword in every single heading. Then my image alt text is every image on my site has alt text, and it's describing whatever the image is about or what's going on in the image, as opposed to just using like my keyword over and over again. And then we looked at how to set up your page title and how to change the blocks in Gutenberg to different headings, and where to set your slug in Yoast, and how to write a meta description. Wasn't very good, but nonetheless. And internal and external links. Make sure you're linking to other pages of your website when it's relevant, and to topically relevant pages. You don't want to just link to a bunch of random pages on your site. They should be topically relevant, so you can create basically like a silo structure for different topics on your website. So that's it for on-page SEO for roofers, and really any website, because the principles of on-page SEO are universal. If you got some value out of this video, give me a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions or would like more information about a particular aspect of on-page SEO, let me know in the comments. Again, thank you for watching, and Have a great day. Oh, happy Memorial Day weekend.